Tug. Okay. Hello, YouTube again. This one is... I work for MrBeast. He's a psychopath. I have not seen this. This video is not monetized and for educational purposes only. So, here we go. The issue with this video is I think YouTube tried to take it down or something, and that's why he had to post the disclaimer that it's not monetized. Because if it's for educational purposes, or you're leaking something, they can't take it down. And that's what he's doing. So here we go.
All right, jokes for food. I wish.
A protein treat. Think it'll work?
Well, protein bars aren't very fun.
I'm hungry. All right, jokes for food. I wish it for
Oh, also, if you're on YouTube, watch this at a later date. Make sure to check out my Discord and make sure to subscribe. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers so I can become a YouTube partner. Thank you so much.
If this YouTuber would just give me 10K and not film it.
Just 10K and not film it.
Hey, what the hell happened to you? MrBeast, that's what happened to me.
What we do here is go back.
I was gonna be somebody. I was gonna be the Carl took my job. Carl took my job. It's the worst of the dumpster diving video that made me do. Oh, no.
I remember that guy now.
Okay, content cop from Temu back at it again. So just before I get
Content top from Temu. Dude, didn't iDubbbz go on like an apology tour or something? He felt really bad about all the stuff he did.
into my interrogation with former MrBeast employee Jake Weddle.
Okay.
A lot has happened since my last video. After posting, I got hundreds of messages from former MrBeast employees, and I had them all like send proof of former employment. You know, just people showing their support or telling their stories of you know, fake videos or unsafe practices, you know, toxic workplace, stuff like that. I'm not really going to get into those claims because, for one, like most people want stuff like that.
100 dogs adopted.
Those are unsafe.
Most dangerous trap video Mac was built. Work conditions are not common to see people sleeping in the office. Everyone works are very aware how awful the company is for mental health. Dude.
Practices, you know, toxic workplace stuff.
This is bad news. That really proved it. I can say that many people who have received free hearing aids and NC gotten them pretty cheap anyways. Jimmy being an environmentalist team is a joke. The dude's massive carbon footprint. Yeah, I figured that one.
I'm not really going to get into those claims because, for one, like most people want to stay anonymous, which I understand. And also, like, I think most of that stuff's just been covered with you know, the news coming out about Beast Games and everything. And also, I have like more serious allegations that I want to start covering. Also, I heard from a very credible source that MrBeast has been sitting on a response to part 1 because he was worried if he posted it, I would instantly respond with part 2. You know, like this is Kids Bop, Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. Also, I know MrBeast's secret CEO has been practically like harassing my people on, you know, hey, what's in part 2? What does he know? So I will just tell you, James, what will be in part 3, so you don't have to harass my people. It will be about serious allegations of sexual misconduct in the company and your direct involvement in covering up those crimes. And I'll make sure to give you full credit and plaster your face all over the screen when we talk about that. So yeah, I've gotten dozens of messages from former MrBeast employees of very serious allegations. So I just want to put a call to action at the start of this video that, you know, if you have a story, you can DM me. Just make sure you send proof of employment first, because I get a lot of DMs. And like, as much as I meme and joke around, like, I take anonymity very seriously. So without explicit permission, I don't go public with anything. And obviously, if it goes to court, I would hope they would censor your information from the court documents. I don't know. Oh, and former contestants too. That's another thing I heard after posting my last video is during the 100 boys versus girls video, I have people corroborating the same story that the camera guy who gave the girls a drone was making some girls feel uncomfortable.
What? Who would have guessed that? Who could have guessed a grown man recording little girls for a video would make them uncomfortable? Now what are we talking about? Oh, why would that happen? I don't know. The man just put a camera in my face and said, start dancing. Made me a little uncomfortable. Of course it did.
Yeah, you trap these girls in a circle and make them sleep on rough turf and get them high on paint fumes, and then you try to f them.
Okay, that seems really dark. No, it's not.
MrBeast's production team trapping 100 girls in a circle, depriving them of sleep, starving them, and trying to bang them. That sounds about right. That doesn't surprise me if true. We know that from these allegations that one of the girls said that one of the Beast crew tried to record her in a uncomfortable manner.
Sorry, you're misunderstanding me, bro.
I think I am.
Yeah, you are. Because if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no.
No.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
Anyway, so
of course, no money. No money. Okay? No record, no money. That's just how it works. She ain't gonna say no because I ain't gonna let her say no. Like, come on.
That will be part 3. So, MrBeast, do with that information what you will. I know Chucky didn't want to respond to those allegations. So anyway, my interview with Jake Weddle, I chose to interview him because I thought he was perfect because he was both on camera and behind the scenes in 2019 and 2020. And also, what people don't know is that he came back in 2021 to be the sole contestant of a MrBeast video, which never got uploaded because it went very badly. He also knows about another portable document format who was working at MrBeast while actually on the registry. And I'll get more into that story at the end of the video.
Oh. Right. Okay. Put a man that's on the registry, okay, next to a bunch of kids. What a brilliant idea. Absolutely. Could have hired anyone else, but you didn't. Thank you, MrBeast, for providing that information. Really helping the kids in the environment.
So I got his DM, drove straight to New York overnight, did not sleep, just drank a bunch of caffeine, and I also only had one microphone in the interview, which he's wearing. So it's mostly just him talking. Also, like, final thing, people said my last video started slow. This video also starts slow. It builds up over time, but I'll do the retention thing and say, the ending will blow your mind. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Jake Weddle, everybody.
I'm Jake Weddle. Most people who, if you know me from MrBeast, I'm a deep cut. I'm in a few of the videos, sometimes maybe purposefully kept to the shadows a little bit. I'm in the cutting room floor a lot of the time.
That sounds
but I've been in some videos. I've worked on a lot of them. I was there from 2019 to 2020, 2021-ish when I came back and did some more. I was there when they were authentic, and then I saw the transition to what I feel like is a company. He's like a TV show now. It went from YouTuber guy with a camera to Amazon. The culture around there was very unspoken, but there was a vibe. There was half the people who, if you made Jimmy happy, you were on the good half. And these people got...
MrBeast is like so rich and so popular that he even got a commercial with Monster Hunter by the people who made Pokemon Go, like Nautica. Monster Hunter made another open one. So like, how much is this really affecting him? It's probably, it could ruin his career, but like, he has so much money, he doesn't really care.
Random bonuses, and were usually moved up, had more screen time. And then there was people who, if you had a disagreement or butt heads with Jimmy, or just you didn't like it, you were the other half. And I consistently was in the half that Jimmy doesn't like me. That's fine. I don't like him either. It's okay. That feels so good to say. I don't like Jimmy. I hate you so much. He didn't want anyone to get more popular or have more of a way out necessarily. Like, oh, I'm doing my Twitch thing on the side. Don't do that because you could get famous and leave and talk about me negatively. And I could tell that the yes men were, doing well. And I was, disgruntled for quite some time. So I've talked to reporters, right? Like publicly. And I've always had to choose my words very, very carefully because I don't want to say anything I don't stand behind, obviously. So I used to talk to people. I used to glaze Jimmy publicly for things I do genuinely think are true. But then it's like, well, how come you didn't talk about the working conditions? Well, I wanted a career. I didn't want to, you know, speak ill of YouTube's golden boy, and then I'm blacklisted forever. I tell people I was talking to you, and they go, "Don't, what are you doing? You're going to kill your career." It's like, I have to, or I'll be sad. If this is the moment, we're going to talk about it. So, as far as that.
If this guy is willing to ruin his career, and he's willing to talk about it, just for the fact that if he doesn't, he'll be sad, should speak volumes. Like, this man is saying it just because he doesn't want to be sad. He's getting nothing out of it. Should speak to how bad it really was.
That's my covering up of why we didn't talk about XYZ sooner, but now you know.
What would you say is the fakest video that you worked on while you were there?
Fakest video that I worked on while I was there. This is the extent of the fakeness that I was involved to. This is admitting to my complicity. I was a writer there, and we were working on a video, crushing my friend's car with a rock or meteor or something. It was a rock or a meteor in the title of it. I can't remember, but he wanted to do a prank where, unbeknownst to the person, he takes a rock, crushes their car, and they're supposed to think a rock came out of space.
We're gonna take a meteor and we're gonna put it on Weddle's car. We're gonna take another meteor and put it on Marcus's car. Both of them have no idea that we're doing this. Weddle and Marcus are probably shocked. They had no idea.
And so that was the one and only time I had to, my car? What? And on the fly, I saw him, because Marcus was in that video. So Marcus is calling his mom. Marcus genuinely had no idea. He genuinely had no idea. But so Marcus is calling his mom, and his mom's freaking out. And I'm like, oh no, they're gonna call my mom next. So I had to text my mom, who had to beg to get the title very quickly. Now I'm texting my mom, I go, Mom, I'm about to call you about the meteor thing. You have no idea? Be surprised. And then I hit send, and then they go, call your mom now. And I call my mom and I tell her, and oh, she should have got the Oscar. Oh my God, on the fly, she goes, what? I'm on vacation. Mom, my car has been destroyed.
Wait, what?
A meteor hit it.
Jacob, I'm on vacation. Do you understand?
A meteor hit their car. That is what we're supposed to believe? They thought, wait a second. This guy, of course, knew it was fake, but the other guy thought a meteor hit his car and his friend's car on the same day? Bruh, did people think that was real? It makes me sad for humanity. Wow.
Yeah, I did that video, and they're supposed to give me $10K to put a down payment on a new car, and they wanted me to get like a big flashy new car. $10K was supposed to be a down payment, and I can't afford a big flashy new car because I work at MrBeast. So I couldn't get anything I couldn't afford the taxes on. I couldn't get anything I couldn't afford the insurance on. So I do my part of the video, and I get a mom van that I could afford. And Jimmy was like, why didn't you get a cooler car? I was like, I can't afford that, bro. Come on, what are you talking about? If I was working on a TV show in the 90s, on a show that was a quarter as successful, I could retire today. But now I make dog shit pay, making gajillionaires more money. And I just walked into the writer's room, and that's one of the reasons why I left, was because I just walked in there and asked for not necessarily a gajillion dollars, but maybe a salary that was more proportional to the work I was doing, given how much revenue that work was doing. And then, you know, I talked about that, and I talked about the Writers Guild and how this is what Writers Guild industry standard is for the streaming internet content with ads. I thought that was the closest thing to YouTube, and I didn't even bring up residuals, because oh my God, if I got residuals for every video I worked on, boy howdy, I could retire. But yeah, the other thing I talked about was
MrBeast paid this man practically nothing for writing parts, like some of his videos. Does that surprise anyone? Because it shouldn't. Because the man also sells chocolate to children. How do these two things correlate? Because he knows that children are the best way to make money. And when you speak to children, you're going to scam anyone around. This is back to the Logan Paul situation.
There was another writer there, older comic, black guy. He had a kid. And I got paid more than him, and I thought that was wild because he was older than me, had a child, we're doing the exact same job, and I'm some 20-year-old fuckhead white guy, why am I getting paid more than him? I brought that up. And one of the things I didn't like about the way some of the Beast stuff shook out was... I feel really guilty about the way this shook out. Yeah, I was talking to this other writer, it's fucked up, that's how the pay is, and I want you to get paid more, because you deserve to get paid more. I don't have a kid. And he didn't want to rock the boat. He desperately didn't want to rock the boat. He's just, I like my job. I like, because when you grow up with, nothing, not to say that he did, but I know I did, You get a little something, you don't want to lose it. So he didn't want to rock the boat. But he said, hey man, if that's how you feel, if that's
This guy is crying. Do you see that this man has tears in his eyes? He's crying over this situation. Do you know, how bad, how bad this is? This is not a normal, little thing. This man is actively sad and is hurt by what's going on.
I trust you. He stood with me. He went to that meeting with me, and I said my piece, and he backed me up. And I said, I need XYZ or I'm out of here. And they said, bet, and they gave me a severance check the next day, and they gave him a severance check the next day. And if I knew he was going to lose his job too, I wouldn't have done it. Me, I was over the moon. I was like, you're going to give me a check and I get to leave? I don't get to deal with the how many Orbeez can I fit up my asshole every day? And I get to go home and...
What? That isn't real. He's making a joke, right? They didn't put Orbeez up their butts, right? Because that would be insane.
You're going to pay me to leave. I was over the moon. And he was devastated. He did not want... He just wanted to be in the room, And I really regret that. But, me and him are really still tight. We're still good friends. Is he doing good? Yeah, he's doing good. He's a good guy. I love that guy. He's doing good. Yeah.
So maybe you'll feel better?
Honestly, best thing I could have done for him. Now that he's very, very far removed from all this crazy shit, I guess.
Do you think Jimmy really enjoys doing good and helping people?
I think Jimmy wants to be the best YouTuber. I think he is laser focused on one goal. And I think whatever he has to do to achieve that goal, he'll do. And I think it was the smartest decision for him that he calculated, because he's very good with numbers. If I donate to charity, people can't say I'm shitty. If I give this homeless guy 10K, what do you mean I'm a bad guy? But I've always thought, if you're going to do something nice for somebody and you stick a camera in their face while you do it, that you didn't do a nice thing for somebody. You gained something. There was a homeless guy on the street and you saw an opportunity for yourself and your image, and you...
He's absolutely right. We know Prince went around and anonymously gave money to people that needed it, drug addicts and such. That's different. That's selflessness, and that can be admired. Putting a camera in your face is a good way to get people to like you, right? Because people don't think this way. But he is gaining from it.
You gave one guy $10,000 who needed it to eat, and now the revenue you generated from that video is way more than what you gave. I think when he's generous on camera, it's the least authentic thing in the world. There's an element of, oh, hey, you're crying. That's so good for camera. I'm so glad if you're crying because you're so thankful that you got XYZ, And then you go, oh, I'm so glad he needed it that bad so I could come in and, oh, can you cry more? Oh, it's so good for the camera if you could. Oh, it made me uncomfortable when I was working there.
Can you cry more? It's good for the camera. Let me see some tears. Can we put some water in his eyes? Yeah, it will attract more viewers. Can we put some salt water in your... Oh, yeah, get real depressed. Okay, that's good. That's good. Sounds about right.
And I didn't like it, and I vocalized it sometimes, and I think that's why I wasn't on camera as much as they said I was going to be. I was told at one point that I was going to be like fourth banana, you know, it was going to be Jimmy, Chris, Chandler, me, you know, and then that never happened. And I remember talking about that, like, hey, I thought my contract said XYZ. And then I got the severance checks, so, you know, whatever, all that regard.
So after your severance checks, how was your relationship with the company? I know you appeared in videos after that, right?
Right. So in videos where I was appearing in later, that's why you keep nice publicly. If you're nice in public, hey, Jake was nice in public. Let's have him back for something. You know? Yeah, sure. So I was hoping they call back. You know, and I appeared in some videos after I left. I think one of them was 3 days at a maximum security prison. If I did do mini challenges in that, I got paid. I was, you know, clocked in with a rate, and I would get paid and compensated for those. But there was one video I was in. I got paid a lot for it, but it didn't come out. It didn't come out because it didn't go well. There was a video that came out probably like a year ago, something like that. It got a lot of hot water when it came out. It was the like surviving like $10,000 every day you survive in solitary or surviving solitary for whatever. It was one of those solitary confinement videos that got a lot of media attention because everybody saw the premise and thought, what? You shouldn't do that. And people don't know that was the second attempt. The first attempt was on me.
My ability is called instant death to any target. If I simply think that I want to kill someone.
And it didn't go well.
Did he drop the soap in prison? That's what, look at his face. He got butt raped. We all know it. We're all thinking it. That's what happened. That's probably what happened. Okay. I don't know.
I was already planning on moving to New York, and I had worked at a couple of YouTube companies after Beast, and I had a little bit of change in my pocket. You know, the most change I had in my pocket ever. You know, small potatoes, compared to Beast bullshit. But you know, I thought I had enough to move to New York or whatever.
No, you don't.
And I get a call from somebody over there, and they go, "Hey, they want you for a video." I was like, "Oh, amazing, great, cool, thank God." What's the video? And they tell me the pitch. And they try to make the pitch sound like it's going to be like a walk in the park. The pitch is 100 days in solitary confinement. But don't worry, like you only have to last like 30. We have like a video. They're pitching it like at first it's going to be like a luxury vacation. You're going to have like a hot tub and an ice cream machine. And like part of the video is going to be you deciding like what items am I going to get rid of, today? And it's like the choice. They were like, it's only going to be bad for you to last like 5 days tops when you have like nothing left. You're the first, it's going to be like a breeze for most of it. And by the end of it, after 30 days, you're going to get $300,000 because it's $10,000 a day. And I don't know, man. I grew up poor in North Carolina. I said, excuse me? I'll dance for you if you put that kind of money in my face, sure. They were like, you're going to be locked in this room and we got to make sure.
I think anyone would. $300,000 for 30 days of solitary confinement? Sign me up.
You're on all the time. We're going to have cameras on you all the time, and you're perfect for this because you never shut the fuck up. On paper, I was like, okay, I can do this. And they always cut me out of the videos. They always, and I was, editors have told me that it's because you have too much of a personality. And so with this video, I thought, this is perfect. It's a video they can't cut me out of. I'm the guy. And so I thought, well, if I have to do this, if I have to do solitary confinement in order to do the things I want to do, then I will do that. That I held my tongue and I swallowed my pride and I tried to do one last ride. And I get there. And at first it's fine. And I mean, they had just freshly painted the set. You could smell it, you know, which that's probably not good, you know, the smell of fresh paint in your surroundings for the next XYZ time. It looked good on the visual. Like it looks good on camera. You know, it's movie magic bullshit. It was a terrible facility. I mean, it was in one of the studios. They had to like get like a separate like tank for, you know, septic stuff. Yeah, there was a hot tub in it. Yeah, there was an ice cream machine. Like things were cool and funny on paper. But when you think about stuff, a hot tub that's not connected to a filtration system, give it 3 days, it's gonna stink. You know, there's not like a hot water mechanism. So the hot tub was a lukewarm tub at best, which was a silly complaint, but the shower was always cold, and you're taking like a quick shower, and I had cameras 24/7 on me, and the ice cream machine, let's talk about that for a second. The ice cream machine has 2 modes, on, and off, reeking of smelly dairy, mildew. Like, so I got to choose which sense was assaulted at a time. I couldn't have all of them good. So the little things started to build up. You know, there was like the bug thing wasn't like terrible, but it was a factor. And like at first it was fine, you know, and you're playing it up like, cause you know it's a video. And it got to a point where like they weren't turning the lights off. You know, I asked them, I said, can we like have like nighttime hours? You know, and they said no. Because it would fuck up the time-lapse shots. The time-lapse of what? Me sleeping? Or me not sleeping? Yeah, I saw in other videos they did
oh yeah, they
like, oh, you're gonna get...
They need the lights on to spy on you sleeping. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they?
XYZ hours of sunlight. Oh, great! Want to know how they figured that one out? I didn't have it. You know, one of the things was you got to take away your clock, so you didn't know what time it was. Okay, I got no access to sun. I got no access to clock. I don't know, like, the lights are on me all the time. I wasn't sleeping. I could not sleep.
This
and
man
I have insomnia problems now, but they might have started there. I had good people looking out for me.
He has PTSD.
I had a lot of good people looking out for me saying, this, we gotta stop. So I just wanted to turn the lights off. And I'm vocalizing to people, I wish the lights would turn off. And I go up to my friend, my good friend. And I go, they're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists.
Wait, the United Nations considers sleep deprivation a form of torture? They did. They literally tortured the guy. Under United States law, of course they would have. Why? What?
Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing. So, you know, they're giving me, you know, melatonin, you know, it's not helping, you know, and then Jimmy would come in like every other day for like an hour, you know, to check in on me because he's doing other stuff. You know, I'm just the guy in the cage over here. He'll come back to me in a minute. And so he'd come by, he'd get the shots, he'd leave. Sometimes he'd have a note from the director over the phone. That would really piss me off. This is the note I got from the director, from Jimmy, when I'm receiving some cash. He said, Jimmy said, can you say to the camera how thankful you are that now you can pay back your student loans? You know how hard it was to do a take of that? And pretend to make it genuine?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Going up to someone, giving them money and be like, now you have enough to pay your student loans because you have been tortured. Yes, I see.
I don't want to have student loans. I don't want to be in a cage.
You don't want to be in a cage?
But Jimmy's the guy with the money, and if you do what he says, he'll do what you want. You want your student loans paid off? You just be in this cage. And you have power over people. When one person doesn't have resources and the other one does, and they hold it over your head, and you go, of course, yeah, I agreed to it. I needed it, of course. Just something about like
why did the video not get released though?
Like I was not having a good time, but we were filming a video. So I was trying my best to be funny, you know. I'm a dark comic, you know. I got bits about. I had a very traumatic life. I have my dad is in jail for sexual assault of a minor, you know. So this kind of stuff is.
Family members in jail is pretty common, you know. But besides the point, they did literally torture and abuse this guy, which is a war crime. Like, if MrBeast doesn't get put in front of a court after some of these videos, like, it would be a disgrace to the American judicial system. A literal disgrace.
Very near to my heart. You know, I don't fuck around with this shit. Yeah, I have jokes about that in my act. You know, I joke about it because, you know, that's what you do in a traumatic experience. You know, abusive relationships. I get out of it. The first thing I do is I do a typing about it. You know, so I'm in this situation where my mental health is not good. My physical health is getting worse. But we're filming, so I'm doing bits. I'm talking to the...
Tangy wet mango. Better. This is way better. Let's see. Let's open this link here. Where are we going? What is this? Megan Thee Stallion official video. Okay. We will play that after. One video at a time, but I will put it on my list. I've never seen that either. Or put that here. I'm gonna keep it. Make sure to play it. Okay. How you doing, Tango?
Camera! And I'm being, you know, like, hey, it's been a couple days, I'm not doing so hot, you know, which if I'm filming a video, that's what I should be doing for the camera, but it was too real. If they're faking videos, why couldn't we fake this one? You know, if we're allowed to...
You know why they didn't fake that video? It's because MrBeast wanted this man tortured because he quit and sent him a severance package, and he was getting revenge, and this was the only way he knew how. You are good? I'm good today. I actually got sleep. I woke up at 5 a.m. Here, Tango, this is my Discord if you want it. I've been trying to make sure I put that out. But yeah, seriously, the reason is because they wanted him tortured. He quit. They sent him a severance package, and this was his way of revenge.
These cast members have some time off of this difficult challenge. How come we couldn't turn the lights off? How come we couldn't maybe not have some time-lapse footage for 10 seconds?
Did you try to get out?
Yes!
What? What did you...
I was starting to calculate. I don't know if I could do 30. How much can I... Well, how can I manage to get out of here sooner and still have a video and still have some cash and get the plug, man. I did... Since we're doing time-lapse shots and since they insisted on time-lapse shots, I said, all right, we're going to do time-lapse shots bet. I put my YouTube on with the whiteboard they gave me. And I was like, all right, yeah, go ahead and scrub that footage. You know, you got that whiteboard. Oh, no, either that goes in or this footage is unusable. And then, you know, James Warren came in and erased it. You know, fucking, you know, don't put that, hey, we can torture him. Don't you dare let him get a plug in there, you know?
Why would you? It takes away from MrBeast. You can't put a plug. You can't put this man's YouTube channel on the internet. This guy is a nobody, right? We got to make sure this thing is as fake as possible.
Like we were playing up the joke, you know, it's like, I'm the boy in the cage, you know, whatever. Like, I'll play into a joke, whatever, it's fine. It's just something weird about when Jimmy jokes. I have jokes about my dad because I love jokes with my dad. I'll joke with my dad all the time. I guess piece of shit. Hey, my dad. I have friends that make fun of my dad. That's fine because I know their intent. I know where they're coming from. When Jimmy joked with my dad, and I said that to seem weird. I don't like it. We were doing that one of those hide and seek videos again. You know, at the time they were a lot realer. So I got caught. And when you get caught, you go to the place where you get caught. And I don't know if there's footage of this. I don't know if I definitely didn't make the final cut. But he says to me, "All right, you're going to jail. Like your dad."
Wait, what?
And like, it's a joke. But when my friends do it, it's fine. And Jimmy just wasn't my friend. He was my boss. And that wasn't cool. And so now, I'm locked in a cage at his whim. And I have to do things to get the cash I need to live. And I got these cameras on me all the time. And I was unwell. I had editors coming up to me saying, "You good, bud?" And I was like, "Yeah, why? You're clearly unwell."
Okay.
And he goes, "Well, because the footage you're sending in is haunting. Because I'm trying to be funny, but I am mentally decaying, so I'm doing bits." Someone said there is a horror cut of a video in this. And I'm sitting like, who's watching this? Like, who wants to see this? What is fun about this, the video? And so
what's fun is seeing a man suffer, right? We've existed in this world since, the dawn of time. And since the dawn of time, we can determine that seeing people suffer is really funny. Just look at the Colosseum from Rome. That was entertainment, was it not? MrBeast knows he's going back to the old ages to get his inspiration. Making a man suffer, that's pretty good.
That made me I gotta get out. I can't do another day in a year. Jimmy comes in and I'm asleep. I don't know what time it is. I don't know, it's like 2 or 3 or whatever. He's like, "Why is he sleeping?" I don't know, because I can't sleep. And he comes in, he wakes me up. And he goes, "Ask me why I have 2 briefcases." And I'm like, why do you have 2 briefcases? And he goes, "Oh, because this one's for today, and this one's for the challenge." And I go, "What's the challenge today?" He goes, You're gonna run a marathon. You're gonna do the 22.6K, whatever it is. And you're gonna do it on that treadmill over there. The first challenge I did was a Rubik's Cube, and I'm dyslexic, I'm dumb. I don't know how to do a Rubik's Cube. So your first challenge, Rubik's Cube. I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do it." I was like, "Okay, I don't want to do it." He goes, "Just do it for the thing, like kid, Like there was an element of, Jake will do what we want because he's in house. That's one of the reasons why they got me. Jake's he's an inside guy, so he'll do whatever. We can push him a little extra hard because we know he's good. I couldn't say no to the treadmill thing. Yeah. So I people who run marathons train forever, and it's still hard. Again, writer. Do I look like I run? I don't run. Let alone a marathon. Let alone that training for it. So I was in a sunlightless,
Through the study of movement, Cool introduced our first articulated pan in 1996.
They literally paid for this man to be
did you have a choice?
That sounds
based
about
on the
right,
Rubik's Cube thing and based on all the other stuff, like they gotta.
Like, I'm not even
there was
surprised.
so much pressure to just do it, just do the thing, And if I refuse, it's just, that's the whole video. I guess the budget's, so much money up in flames because Jake said he wouldn't want to do the thing. And so I wanted to be a good sport, and I wanted to get the boost, and I wanted the cash, and so I started running at 12. I was able to take some breaks, and I asked him, "How long do I have?" He goes, "Until I get back." And I'm running until 3 a.m. I got off the treadmill. The blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe.
They literally made him suffer for money, dude. It was just his own enjoyment. This man got locked up, tortured, sleep deprived, forced to run, blisters for the promise of $300,000. Bruh.
All over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid. I got off the treadmill, and then the people that came in to like ice my feet, make sure I was good. then that's when I was like, I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. And that's when I get psych in and talk to the psych about how I'm not well. And like I said, there was a lot of good people over there that was saying, you got to pull him out. Yeah, I had friends that did some freelance work. And they would tell me,
how many days did he last?
Everyone knows you over there. Everybody loves you. They go, oh, Jake Weddle, love that guy. Shame what happened to him. Like I'm a ghost. And I asked him, I said, how much longer are you guys going to keep me in here? And the guy goes, realistically, like at least 7 more days? No. And they didn't let me leave right away either. They wanted
an entire week after he said he wanted to leave. Like, that's a whole new level.
Make sure, everything was fine. So I just, slept for a while. They turned the lights off. And they brought in all my friends, to make it.
Wait, what?
They brought in all the people I liked. And Jimmy.
And then they shot him. They shot them right in front of him. That was the end of the video. Torture done. They shot all of his friends.
Then everybody was around me making sure I was good, making sure I was okay.
Yeah.
But Jimmy had his, he was sitting in the chair turned around like an evil villain. Swear to God. Everyone was looking at me and he was like Lex Luthor over there. He turns around, he stands up. He does the exact same thing when he's pretending to have a human connection. You know when you're watching a video and he's like, oh, stop, you're gonna make me cry. And he touches his eye or whatever as if he's crying. He's just... I didn't have to pretend to do that shit. She says, as if rehearsed by his lawyers. Your mental health's the most important thing. I just want to make sure you're okay. And the last thing we want you to do is... I can almost hear the word Sue come out of his mouth. The S. He just stopped right before it got out. I did not get the 300K. What I got... He goes, think of it this way. At least you get to keep what you earned. You were in there for XYZ days. You did XYZ challenges, so you got, 100,000 some change, give or take.
$100,000 for all that, and he had 7 days to go. So let's see here. If he was supposed to be in there and there were 7 days left, you got 23 times 10,000. He should have got $230,000, and he got 100,000 and some change. Wow. What a great guy MrBeast is.
You know how much money I spent in taxes in 2021? I spent $44,000 in taxes alone. And now I spent all that money on doing stand-up. I bought plane tickets to go do comedy festivals. My family back home, I gave them a bunch of stuff that they needed. And haven't been back on a Beast set in any official capacity or unofficial capacity since then. And then they did the video with somebody else, and they worked out the kinks. And then I'd still gotten some hot water, and I knew it would. And I've wanted to say a lot of this for a long, long, long time. And I feel good now. I just had to get that out there.
I recently heard of a way to make mealtime throughout the week so much easier. CookUnity is a direct...
So I just want to hop in here and show some text that Jake sent me after this interview. This is July 29, 2021, a few days after he got out of solitary. How are you feeling after a few days? Better. I still couldn't sleep, even a few days out, but I almost have my sleep cycle back on track. My legs and joints are good, but the blisters on my feet still hurt to walk on. Medical advice I got was not to lance them and just let them go away with time. I'm mentally still in an uneasy place, but I've gotten back on better help. My therapist is a little concerned, but we are working on things. Reminder, this is not supposed to be a traumatic life event. This is supposed to be a MrBeast video. Hey Jake, hope you're doing okay. Meg and I just wanted to check in on you. Hey, I'm good and I appreciate that. I'm not exactly 100%. I feel like mentally I'm still recovering a bit, but back in therapy and my therapist is concerned. Haha, but my legs and joints feel better. Like I can walk, but my feet are still covered on those blisters and those hurt to walk on. But I was told the best thing to do is stay off my feet and let them heal. I'm in Raleigh with my family. Also, it'll be like a month before I get the money, and they aren't giving me all the money. They're giving me what I won up to that point in the game, which was also a slap in the face, but hey, I'm out, I'm alive. Therapist who knows and cares about you. The whole thing was so fucked, and honestly, fuck them for not giving you the money. Meg and I are wishing you the best with your recovery, and please feel free to reach out if you need anyone to talk to or need a place to crash in New York. Hope you're doing well, man. That video you uploaded is money, so good. I appreciate. I'm doing better physically. Mentally, I'm still kind of in a place. I still can't sleep. I've slept 5 hours in the past 3 days, marathon included. I don't know what's wrong with me. Lots of thinking, too much one might say. Hope they're taking care of you where they can. I mean, I was kind of shocked they didn't pay me for the full 25, 30 days. They paid me what I made up to that point. Like even when we have to pull the plug for my mental health, the mechanism of the game is still at play. I'm just happy to be out. I still can't walk well, but it hurts less. And like, I'm not famous enough to burn a bridge. So at the end of the day, I'm still Jimmy's bitch. Like if I was Carl and he did that to me, I'd ruin him. And they want to do it again. That could be your leverage. If the guy breaks down also, 2 is better than 1. Yeah, right. I told them everything they did to me that they can't do again in order to make sure the other person doesn't break down as fast. But like the way the video is meant to function is the problem. It's a bad idea, full stop. It sounds clickbaity, sounds right up Jimmy's alley, but it's morally unethical like on every level. Off-camera breaks, lights off at night, visitation, take the marathon out. Marathon is a video in itself. You can't expect someone to exert themselves like that for 45 seconds of content. The challenges really made it feel dehumanizing. Felt like a parody of MrBeast. I felt like the homeless guy they could exploit. It felt like if Jeff Bezos had a GIMP. It felt like if Jeff Bezos had a GIMP. Part of me wants the footage burned and part of me thinks that there's a great horror cut in there. LMAO, he was so fake when he came in and said he cared about my mental health. They must have programmed the care about mental health updates. He said, we also don't want you to, and I swear to our Lord and Savior, he stopped himself from saying sue. Also, as far as like, he could have said no, he could have left at any time. I want to show this segment from an internal document on MrBeast called How to Succeed in MrBeast Production. Specifically on page 19, there's a paragraph called No does not mean no. Already insane, because it's sort of, it seems to be co-opting the popular anti-rape slogan, which is a terrible look given the allegations that are going to be coming out very soon. It reads, when dealing with people outside MrBeast Productions, never take no at face value. If we need a store to buy everything inside of, and you can call the local Dollar Tree, and the person that answers says, no, you can't film here, that literally doesn't mean shit. Talk to other employees and see if they are fans or if any have kids that are fans. Try talking to their boss's boss. Have me DM them on Twitter and try their social team. If all avenues are exhausted and you are left with a no, that doesn't mean don't try the other Dollar Trees because the manager of those could be huge fans and willing to bend the rules. Basically what I'm trying to convey is what we call pushing through no. Don't stop because one person told you no. Stop when all conceivable options are exhausted. This is one of many tools that when combined dramatically improve your probability of success when producing here. So yeah, this idea of like pushing through no's is a big component to working at MrBeast. And the way that it manifests itself a lot of the time is like a director might tell a producer, hey, we need access to 30 acres of farmland by Tuesday or we lose $500,000. Now, if you're the producer, you obviously know that means get it done or you lose your job. So what can happen is like a producer's calling up farmers saying, hey, I need to use your land. And the farmer might be like, okay, but you know, I have animals, you can't be making really loud noises, no pyrotechnics, and you got to clean everything up. So the producer is sort of incentivized to lie and say, or maybe the producer doesn't even actually know the total contents of the video, right? Things changed last second. So they're very they're financially incentivized to be manipulative, and sort of they're put in positions where it's like, oh, it's either the producer's job or a civilian's job, like where it talks about, hey, maybe the manager would be willing to bend the rules. Well, you shouldn't really be pressuring civilians to bend the rules that could get them fired, you know? I'll show you a real life example. This is unused evidence from part 1. I had seen this Reddit post titled MrBeast leaving trash behind and debris at film site in Ayden, North Carolina. Apparently he left a large boat in a pond as well as debris around the film site in the bottom of the pond weeks and weeks after the agreed time frame. This actually rendered it unsafe for campers and almost delayed the camp's opening date multiple times due to not being able to get in contact with MrBeast to get the stuff cleaned up out of the area. So I actually know that this is from a MrBeast video called Protect the Yacht, Keep It. Where at the end of that video, he actually says,
if you're wondering, yes, we did ensure the lake was completely cleaned up after this video. For the love of God, subscribe so we can pass T-Series.
Only God can forgive you now.
Yeah, so he says at the end of the video that they made sure it was cleaned up. I was actually on site
so MrBeast just lied to everyone.
I was at this camp.
For money.
So I decided to send an email out to the camp, basically saying, hey, I heard these rumors, I'm investigating a similar incidents. And the camp responded, actually not denying the claims, going on to say, I am sure that there are no perfect film productions, just as there are no perfect people. I am grateful for the opportunity that we had to host the production crew, and because grace, or forgiveness, has been offered to me so freely, I will choose to offer the same. So clearly alluding to the fact that there was a wrongdoing by MrBeast's production team. And that's like sort of the thing is, if you're around Greenville, you know these stories of people working with MrBeast and it being extremely unprofessional, them not doing what they say, but they sort of get by a lot on their good public image. And like, I mean, this camp offered to host them completely for free. And I guarantee, like, if you went to the lake at the camp and you went magnet fishing, like you'd find all sorts of debris that's still there to this day. Like, they didn't clean it all up. So in the case of Jake Weddle, like, I'm sure that there were producers who were in a position of, hey, if Jake gets out early,
film a video there for free. The multi-millionaire MrBeast, they let him come and record for free. Now, did they get permission to say, hey, this was the park, this was the lake MrBeast was at? Or anything along those lines?
We don't have a video and your job is at risk. So there's a tremendous amount of pressure on top of like him being delirious from not sleeping and everything to just manipulate him into staying. Which, you know, I'm sure this isn't like technically against the Geneva Convention on torture because he wasn't technically a prisoner. Like, he could have left at any time, but because of the extreme pressure to stay in, it's not really a reasonable expectation that he could have just, you know, walked out.
Because of the implication.
I think Jimmy is a awkward kid who
in a
maybe
man's body,
had it a little rough growing up. I can't speak on that, but I do have empathy for it because I had it rough growing up. And I think when you're hyper fixated on something, like I love stand-up, he loves YouTube, everyone fixates on a thing, I think he just wanted to be the best YouTuber so bad, and because the industry's metrics, rewarded some not great behavior, if you're just going on autopilot based on what the numbers say, you can do some things that maybe aren't good, but reap reward. And I think Jimmy just did what the industry and maybe what the system that we have set up demanded. And he didn't care who got hurt. And I think Jimmy surrounded himself
with yes men, right?
With really, really not so great people, and those people were the ones making the decisions. And I want to say, really important, there are so many good people that work at MrBeast who are damn good at their jobs. Like, when Jimmy comes in and asks for something impossible, it's these people's jobs to do it. And they shouldn't be able to make it happen, and they do. And so I don't think people wanted to talk about stuff because I didn't want my friends to lose their jobs. I don't care about my fucking job. I'll die in a hole. I don't care. But I don't want my friends to lose their jobs.
Yeah, no one.
You know? I don't want anyone's reputation to be fucked. You know? But let's just go back to my dad for a second, if I may. My dad was like a swim coach, neighborhood swim team. Everybody loved him. Everybody loved him. Behind closed doors, he's a real piece of shit. And so, when stuff starts hitting the fan, what? Him? No. Surely.
Never.
And then, everyone, thought my mom was the bitch, for not, But then the news broke, that he did what he did to one of the students of the team. And it's like when that comes out, you're not surprised, You just go. When I saw my dad in the news, I said, "Oh, you idiots!" Like I was like, "No, I was dumbass, god damn it!" But I wasn't surprised, and it was just consequences happening to somebody who was really good at avoiding them for a long time. And I don't know, everybody loves Jimmy, and behind closed doors, he is not super great, and that image is cultivated purposefully and intentionally, and it's branding, it's marketing, it's YouTube.
Okay, so I guess, just one final question on a serious note. Obviously, the Ava Chris Tyson drama, and, that's a known issue of traditional media. Did you witness or hear about any sexual misconduct at the company?
It's crazy. I probably hung out with Ava the most out of the main cast just because I was on Beast Hacks. Now Beast Reacts. I don't know if it's still out. That was a lot of fun because it was just being silly and goofy in front of the camera. And Ava was the only person who was willing to film. Everybody else was too busy or didn't want to, and I was just trying to do my job. Sometimes there'd be like an offhanded joke that's a little gross. I mean, I'm a stand-up, so I'm very desensitized to that. I didn't hear anything that was like, whoa, that's crazy. Like when I saw, the reason I messaged you instead of talking to reporters sweetly like I have been was when I saw the Discord stuff because when I got there, it was like 2019. So I guess if the timelines add up, that would have been like handled, for lack of a better term. And then they started bringing more people on. Maybe they thought they had that under the rug. All right, we handled that. Now let's bring in some writers. And when I saw it, all that stuff start coming out, and the potentiality, as of this moment of recording. I know this has been happening fast, and stuff has been coming out so fast. Just the potential that Jimmy could have been in those Discord chats.
Is highly
or
likely.
Even the potential that he participated in those Discord chats. After the shit he did to me, and if you're gonna make fun of my dad, I don't care what happens to me and my career and reputation after this. I had to say some stuff. So whatever happens at this point.
Outside of Ava Chris Tyson, did you really hear about any sexual misconduct at the company?
I've heard rumors. I can't confirm or deny anything. I don't have any tangible evidence, but I've heard stuff that if it could be investigated, that'd be great. But it's like water cooler talk. But right. I've heard things, yes, of course. I heard.
So he did hear stuff.
People have been let go for sexually assaulting some very young people. The idea that
what's
Jimmy
with the world
didn't know,
people being like child
or that
groomers.
Jimmy was covering stuff
What's going
up.
on?
He didn't want stuff to come out. He's very careful about his image.
Well, of course he is.
The tangible proof.
Why wouldn't he be? He has like 300 million subscribers. Why wouldn't he be super paranoid about his image? Especially when you're surrounded by child groomers. That's devastating. And if true, not only is he going to court for falsifying, stealing money, and scams, he's going to court for torture, which is what he did, paid or not paid, and then probably sexual abuse.
Proof that he knew but covered it up. How do you prove that, Well, there was a known sex offender, registered sex offender, convicted sex offender.
Okay.
On the registry and everything. Who worked there.
So the reason this blurs here, what he's doing, is since this is a rumor, they don't want to say that this is evidence of him saying this, even though the voice matches. They don't want him saying this and being brought to court over it. It's super
And, like,
smart.
you can, you know, someone pees in public, you're on the registry, you know, you get it. You can still have a job after you're on the, that's one thing. You know, you go to prison, you get rehabilitated, that's one thing. You know, like if you do your time, that's fine. I think there should be rehabilitation in this country. But that guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people. And they knew that. And he's working at a channel
1 to 11? The man... Wait. There was multiple instances of man 1 to 11? What did he do to the 1-year-old? What? We're talking about a psychopath here. This is a whole different scenario. That's an entirely different scenario. We're talking about a psycho. Like a serious problem. If that's true.
has underage people on and around and is targeted to underage people. And they covered up the fact that not only did he work there, but he was like the manager when it all started. And you know,
I'm not surprised the manager,
because he'll be in videos, he'll be in thumbnails, he'll be around.
Sex offender for
and whenever he is,
surprised.
He's wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? It's like, what are you concealing? That you are a registered sex offender, and that your face can be looked up on a thing? How much more can you literally cover up a sex offender with a physical mask? Like, do I have to? Is it more on the nose, or? I don't know why they let him go, because there's rumors back and forth. You know, so I don't know why they let him go, but he did leave at one point.
Okay, he did leave.
Even if that guy didn't do anything, they still knew about it, and he was still around. And what if he's one of the people in the Discord servers? What if he's not? I don't know. But when I was there, they called him Delaware. It's like, why do you call him Delaware? I didn't know. Apparently, they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname? Colloquially? Like, you know, yeah, it's Delaware.
That's a good enough reason.
You know? The fuck? And Jimmy knew about it? The likelihood that he didn't know is astronomically low.
Okay, so finally I have a recorded phone conversation. The person on the other end of this line is a different former MrBeast employee talking about Delaware. Also, apparently before this phone conversation got recorded, the person on the other end of the line said that the MrBeast team was actually trying to expunge Delaware's record off the registry, and that's what actually like sparked this person to start recording.
Jimmy was like, I never sat down, and I was like, would you do it for like $1,000? Well, that's like, just go out there and fucking make a set for like 8 hours by yourself. You know, I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. And it was Reed's idea to get involved. And it was like, we need to get you an APL manager, and then we went through that whole cycle of different VPs and managers, and, you know, people that won't talk to us anymore. Because they're scared of Jimmy. And if you really don't do anything in your affidavits or testimonials from people, you have to move very quickly, because one of those people are going to go back and say,
okay, so Reed is MrBeast's former manager who was in the last video telling Jimmy, you know, hey, don't promote gambling to children. So, you know, I think Reed's taken 2 W's this month. You know, don't promote gambling to children, and don't have offenders on payroll. Also, yeah, just from where I'm sitting, it seems extremely unlikely that Jimmy wouldn't know. But, you know, I know that I'm sure that's the defense he'll go with. So I'll just say preemptively, like, if somehow Jimmy didn't know about Delaware, I think
Jimmy obviously
it's still such an extreme level of negligence. Like, what, you're not doing background checks. You're not. Everyone at your company knows, but somehow you don't know. I think that needs more of an explanation than just saying, I didn't know. Well, how didn't you know? How did this person get into the company and a company that makes content for children and is around children? So yeah, Jimmy, I think we need an explanation from you or your lawyers and PR people and representatives and spokespersons and on how you could have not known that there was an offender at a high level in your company.
Yeah, manager.
And while you're responding to that, why not just respond to the allegations of rigging contest videos and selling fake signatures, running illegal lotteries, the dangerous conditions on the set of Beast games. You should address those too. So yeah, just let us know. Okay, that was my interview with former MrBeast employee Jake Weddle. I know he will be coming out with a longer cut of this interview as well as other content. So I just wanted to shout him out. Jake Weddle, top link in the description.
I've waited a long time to talk about a lot of this publicly, so thank you for doing what you're doing.
So long.
This video makes you really hate MrBeast. Wow. What a bad person. Holy crap. What a bad guy. Okay. Well, he is evil. We had a recommendation by Mango here for the next video. For those on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Otherwise, stick around on the stream. See you tomorrow, YouTube.